Now we'll start chapter 2, which talks about testing throughout the software lifecycle. This chapter consists of 4 sections. The first one is about software development models. The second one is about test levels. The third is about test types. And the fourth is about maintenance testing. And like we said, each section of them will be discussed in a separate video. So we need at the beginning to understand what are the software development models that are used in the market, okay? First, testing does not exist in isolation. Testing is part of the software development life cycles. So we need to understand the software development activities and when do we test inside each software development life cycle. The first software development life cycle, or like we say SDLC, is the waterfall model. This is the waterfall model and it is a sequential model. Sequential because everything happens one time and once you finish it, you don't return to it again. First, we do requirements analysis, okay? We sit with the client and we understand his requirements and what does he want us to do in this project. Then we make the design of our software. The developer designs his code and the designer designs his designs. Third, we begin development, okay? And once development is finished, testing begins. So development and testing don't happen at the same time. The developer works and when he finishes, either he tests his software or he handles it to a tester, so he tests it. And then the software is released. If any problem happens after the release, we have to do maintenance, okay? What is the problem with waterfall model? Is it good? Is it bad? Most people say that this model is not good because first, testing comes at the end, and we said in the 7 principles that one principle of them was early testing. We need to begin testing early in the development lifecycle, and this doesn't happen here. The second thing, if you make a mistake in the requirements analysis, okay, so you will make mistakes in the design because it's built on wrong requirements. Then you will develop in a wrong way because the development is built on wrong design, which is built on wrong requirements. If you notice that problem in testing and you say there is an issue in the software, we can't solve it easily, okay? We have to go back to the requirements and change the requirements and then change the design and then change the development and then begin testing again, which is exhaustive in time, okay? So waterfall, if there is a mistake, it will consume your time. So we thought of a better model, which is the V model, okay? It's called the V model because it's like the letter V, and this one is sequential too. What is the V model? We see here the requirements. The requirements, we divided it into 2 types of requirements: business requirements and system requirements. Business requirements is what the customer wants, okay? The customer said, I want an app that does 1, 2, 3. The system requirements is the technical requirements. What is the technology that we will use? What is the programming language? What is the test environment? These things that we understand, but the customer doesn't understand these type of requirements. Then we have the high level design and the low level design. This is the design in the waterfall, but we divided it into 2 types of designs. The high level design is like the design of the whole software, okay? What is the relationship between all the modules? But the low level design, here we are talking about each module on its own. How is it designed? When we finish the low level design, we can begin coding. These are development activities. These on the left are development activities. Here in the V model, each development activity has its counterpart on the right, okay? Each development activity has a corresponding testing activity. So when we gather the business requirements, what the customer wants, the tester begins to write and design the acceptance tests. Does he execute them? No. We remember the test process. The second step was analysis and design. So here we make the analysis and design of the acceptance testing while we are gathering the business requirements. When do we execute the acceptance testing? At the end of the life cycle. After all these steps, okay, from the left down and then to the right. While I'm gathering the system requirements, I begin to write the system testing. I begin to design system testing. While I'm writing the high level design, I begin to design the integration testing. While I design the low level design, I begin to design the unit testing. Why do I do this? Because once coding is finished, I am ready to begin executing the testing. I don't have to plan, I don't have to analyze and design. No, I begin execution because I planned and designed my tests early in the life cycle. So the V model is better, of course. Okay, why? Because testing begins early in the life cycle, so the principle of early testing is satisfied here or justified, and each development activity has a corresponding testing activity. Is the waterfall and V model all the life cycles in the market? No. Now the market is going into the iterative and incremental development models, and the most famous of them, of course, is the agile development. What is the agile? The agile divides the project into iterations or sprints. Like you see, this is sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. In each sprint or iteration, we do the whole life cycle. Okay, we plan and we design and we code, and then we test and deliver a prototype or a part of the project to the customer. Okay, so that we can gain feedback from the customer whether he is satisfied with what we have done until now or not. If he is satisfied, we will continue in the same way. If he is not satisfied, we will try to change according to his notes that he gave us. Agile software development is out of the scope of this course, so here we are talking about the waterfall and V model, and especially about the V model. So what are the characteristics of good testing in the software development lifecycle? First, each development activity should have a corresponding testing activity, which is justified in the V model but not in the waterfall. Each test level has test objectives specified to that level. What are the test levels? These are the test levels: unit, integration, system, and acceptance. So each level should have objectives and goals that should be achieved in this level. Then the analysis and design of tests in each test level should begin during the corresponding development activity. What does that mean? It means that the analysis and design of the acceptance testing is written while I am gathering the business requirements. The analysis and design of the unit testing is written while I am creating my low-level design, and so on for all the 4 levels. Another important characteristic of good testing is that testers should be involved in reviewing documents as soon as drafts are available. When you are writing any document, once you have a draft of it, even if it's not ready, you should handle it to the tester so he reviews it and give you his opinion in it.